Isabel. Welcome.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Did you find the place okay?
Yeah, I did. It's a really big building.
Awesome. Have you been to counseling before?
No.
No? Okay, great. So just to let you know, it's a free and voluntary service here at Durham College. I am a student counselor in training for the social service worker program, so I do work with a student advisor. And we're happy to have you here.
Thank you.
And we'll do our very best to help you with whatever issues that you're presenting with, but just to let you know, we cannot guarantee, just due to life circumstances, that your situation will improve.
Right.
So if you do choose to continue, it's a voluntary program so that you can decide how long you would like to continue.
Okay.
That sounds okay?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll talk about confidentiality. Are you familiar with that term?
I just know that it pretty much means whatever I tell you, you can't tell other people.
Yes, exactly that. So whatever we talk about, I won't discuss with anybody else. However, there are some exceptions to confidentiality. The first one is if you sign a release form, a release of information. So if you're working with another practitioner, like a doctor or even another counselor, then you would sign the form and I would be able to share information with that individual. Also, if I get subpoenaed to court, then I will have to share some information about your case or in court.
Okay.
So my notes and such. If you're at risk of harming yourself or others, I do have a duty to report that as well. If you let me know of any situation of where a child is being abused, a child being 16 years of age or under, like physically, emotionally, sexually abused, I have a duty to report that to CAS. And if you are being abused, sexually abused by another practitioner, then I have a duty to report that as well.
Okay.
It's mainly for your protection and the protection of others. So do you understand the client acknowledgement form?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I'll have you sign it and we'll get started. Okay. All right, so what brings you in today, Isabel?
Pretty much like my parents wanted me to come here because they think that something's going on. They're just concerned because I haven't been going to school as much anymore. I try to go, but it's just I don't have the motivation for it. I just can't.
Okay, so your parents did they make the appointment for you?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm hearing that your parents have concerns because you haven't been going to school. How many days would you say you've been missing?
I usually only go maybe 3 times a week.
Okay, so out of 5 days,
Yeah.
you're missing 2 days?
Yeah.
Are you not feeling well, or what is the reason that you're not going to school?
Just the people there, we don't get along, and it seems like they're all friends with each other, like everybody else at my school, but I'm always just left out of everything. I never get like invited anywhere.
Okay, so you're left out. What does that look like?
Like I always see like on social media, all like the people, like groups of people going out, like going bowling or like parties and stuff, and like I've just never like gotten invited to them, or they've never reached out to me to come, and like they never talk about it like to me at school or anything. Nobody really talks to me there.
Okay, so I'm hearing at school you're feeling alone and left out, and you're noticing on social media and maybe overhearing conversations about outings like bowling that you're not being invited to.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So how does that make you feel? How do you feel about that?
It just makes me feel like just like not wanted. Like there's like no place for me there, so there's no point in going if like I'm just gonna be alone.
Okay, I'm sorry to hear that. So when you do go to school, it's great that you're going 3 days, even though you're feeling like you're left out.
Yeah.
Would you say an emotion? Can you give me an emotion with that? Like feeling alone, how does that feel? Like
just really sad.
Feel sad?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you wake up in the morning and it's time to get ready for school, it's a feeling of sadness.
Yeah, like I don't want to do it.
Okay. But you said that you are going 3 days a week, which is great. So on those days, what motivates you? What drives you to go?
Just that I know like it's something that I have to do so I can like study and get my work done so I can just like graduate and then eventually go to like different school, like college. So it'll probably be better for me like once I get to meet different people, maybe, hopefully.
Okay, that's great. So what grade are you in?
I'm grade 12.
Grade 12. Okay. So it's great that you have the motivation and you can see. I'm hearing that you have motivation to get yourself out of the situation. Does that sound fair? So you know that by going to school and getting good grades, you can graduate and move on and hopefully go to a place where people will be friendly and you won't feel left out. So that's great. That's great. So what about your parents? Have you talked to them about how you're feeling at all?
Yeah, but they just don't really like. They don't like understand because they're just like, oh, like just don't worry about it. Like it's not a big deal. Like they just brush it off like it's nothing, and they just don't understand how it makes me feel. So they don't understand it. So then we just get in fights because they want me to like go to school more, but it's like I just can't do like the full week. Like it's too much for me, and they're just not understanding that.
Okay, so can you walk me through like what's a typical conversation? How would it start? Who initiates the conversation about your attendance?
Usually my mom. And so like when she'll like come to wake me up in the morning, like if it's a day that I really just don't feel like going, like I'll tell her, and like she'll just start like freaking out and keep trying to get me out of bed and trying to get me to get ready, and like I just won't do it, and we just go back and forth like all day.
So she'll say, for example, good morning, Isabel, like, let's get up and get ready for school, and then what would your response be?
I'd be like, oh, like I'm just really not feeling good today, like I don't think I can like go today, like I'll go like tomorrow or like the day after or something, but like just not a good day right now.
And then your mom gets upset?
Angry, yeah.
Okay, and so what would be a common response? Like what would she say when she's angry?
She would just start like yelling, telling me just to get over it and just get up and go, like just make myself go.
Okay. So I'm hearing that your mom is frustrated.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to school, and when you have conversations about it, what else comes up? What other sort of things do your parents say, or your mom or your dad?
They think that like, sorry,
no, it's okay.
They think that I'm just like I'm not gonna finish on time because I'm gonna be like missing too much like class, so I'm not gonna like understand the material as much. But like I don't think that, because I do like make sure I get caught up. Like I talk to my teachers and like they email me like the work that I missed so I can do it on my own time, and it's been working fine for me. But they just like they don't think that I can like do that and like still stay like on on time with all the work.
Okay, so two things that I noticed that are really good. You're communicating with your teachers, you're getting the extra work, and you're getting the work done. So that shows responsibility and dedication to your schoolwork, which is great. Do your teachers know about what's happening, like about how you're feeling isolated or feeling alone, left out? Have you told them?
No, I haven't told them. I told my teachers that it's just like to do with mental health, so that's why like I can't like come for certain days, and that's what my parents told like my principal too, because we had to talk to them.
Okay, so mental health, so they don't really know how
like I don't want to get into like, because if I tell like the school, they're just gonna like ask like for names and stuff of like people who are like being rude, and like I don't want to start like anything and make it worse.
Okay. But your parents know?
Yes.
Your parents know that, okay. So the other thing that I noticed that was great is that your parents are concerned about you, and your parents want you to do well in school, and they want you to graduate as well. So I think that's a great quality. So outside of this right now, what would you say your relationship is like with your parents normally, outside of this issue? Do you have an open communication with them?
Other than this issue, it's okay, yeah, like we get along and like we can do stuff, but just as soon as school's brought in, we just are always fighting about it.
Okay, but school is a big part of your life too, right?
Yeah.
So I think let's go back to the conversations that when you have about feeling isolated and your parents your parents' reaction. So I think I'm hearing that they're frustrated because you're not going to school, and I think they want you to do well in school, but it seems like you want to do well in school as well. So you have a common goal, but sometimes when you talk to each other, you're frustrated or your parents are frustrated, and then you start to argue, and I think the common goal may be lost.
Yeah.
Does that sound correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you think you could say to your parents that maybe that they wouldn't become so frustrated? Or you wouldn't feel so frustrated. Like how can you speak to your parents in that moment when you're feeling frustrated?
I think maybe if like when we do have like talk about school, and like instead of like yelling, if they yell at me, like instead of yelling back, I can just like talk more calm and like let them know that I understand where they're coming from and like their like side, but that they also have to like work with me too and like understand me, like if I'm gonna like do that for them. So like find that like common ground and balance it.
Yeah, definitely. And how do your parents feel about school? Like what in their families, was education a priority?
Yeah, it's like really important to them. It's like their number one priority.
Okay. So I'm hearing that they want you, so it's important for them that you go to college or university after high school. And that's something that seems important to you as well because you're interested in your marks and everything. So do you think that maybe having the conversation with them, like are your parents aware that this is important to you? Do you tell them that do they know that you're communicating with your teachers and getting homework and you're getting caught up even though you're missing 2 days a week? Do your parents know that?
They like know to an extent because like I tell them, but they don't like really believe it. Like they just think I'm just trying to like make it sound better so they're not as hard on me for not going.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't think they like really believe it when I tell them, or like if I they just don't think I would do that. Like I would put that much effort into it.
Okay. And you've told them?
Yeah.
And then
they don't listen.
They don't listen. So but have they said that they don't believe you? Or are you just thinking that by their reaction that they don't believe you?
Yeah, it's like by their reaction because they just keep going on about it and like keep bothering me about it and like still yelling like and stuff. Like the conversation just doesn't like get better after I tell them that.
Okay.
So I'm just guessing they don't believe me.
Okay. So on the 3 days, that you do go to school, what is that like for you? What is the typical, like run me through a typical day in terms of how you're feeling?
It's just like I'm always like upset there and I just don't want to do like anything. I don't want to talk like it's like any teachers or anything. Like the teachers are nice, it's just like everybody else is just rude and like I just always feel like everybody's like staring at me and like talking about me, like talking bad and stuff. And I don't talk to anybody else and yeah, it's just I don't like it. Like,
is that more at lunch or at recess? I don't know, do you have recess?
No, just lunch.
At lunch?
Yeah, I don't, like at lunch I'm usually just alone. I just sit in my car or something.
Okay. So, but in class, are you able to focus on your work and like how does it feel in class?
I think I do my work definitely more when I'm alone. Because in class, like I worry, it's just like everybody around me like talking and like everybody's just with each other and I'm just by myself. So I just like, I can't stay focused on it because I just get upset thinking about like, and it's like embarrassing to me that I just like don't have friends.
Okay, so it's hard for you to focus in class because you're feeling isolated and you're embarrassed. Why do you feel embarrassed?
Because like everybody else like has people that like them and like they get along with and I don't, and it's just like I don't understand why like people just don't like talking to me. Like I don't know what's like wrong.
Okay. So you prefer to do your work at home and are you able to focus when you're doing it at home or getting the extra work from your teacher?
Yeah.
Okay, so Isabel, I'm hearing that on the one hand, school is important to you and you'd like to graduate and go to college. But on the other hand, you're having an issue at school where you're feeling isolated and alone and left out, so you're not going. So can you think of a time when you didn't feel that way? Can you think of a time when you had friends, or you had more of a social situation?
I think, well, up until in grade 10, I had like a close friend. So like going to school like then, like it was like fun at the beginning and we were always together, but then she moved away, so like she had to switch schools, so I never really see her anymore because she's really far now. So then starting then, it kind of like started to get like bad where I didn't have like any other friends.
Okay. So in grade 10, that would have been 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's when you would you say you started feeling isolated then, and then?
Yeah.
Okay. And what about the other kids? Like, how did the other kids at school react when your friend moved away? Were you guys more part of a group, or was it just the two of you that were kind of?
It was
always
just
together?
like the two of us.
Okay.
Yeah. Because she didn't have like many other friends either, so we mainly spent our time together.
Okay. So when she moved away, how did that feel for you?
It sucked. It was really sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is my only friend, and then I don't see her anymore. So.
Did any of the other students have the same reaction, or did they reach out to you?
No, not really.
No. Do you keep in touch with your friend?
Sometimes, like we just like text like ever so often, but like it's kind of hard now because she's like doing other stuff and has other friends at her new school. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What about outside of school? So you're going to school 3 days. You're getting your work done. It's not the ideal situation for your parents, but what about other things? Like, what do you like to do outside of school? Do you have activities, or?
I don't really do that much. I have like a part-time job, but other than that, I'm usually at home.
Okay. Where's your part-time job?
At McDonald's.
Okay. Well, that's great that you have it. How long have you been working there?
2 years.
Okay. So it shows responsibility, and you can get there on time, you can manage your schoolwork and you're working, so that's a great quality for sure. What about at work, your coworkers? Are you friends with any of your coworkers?
A lot of them are younger than me now, so like we don't really like talk that much unless like we need to, but like everybody there's like decently nice. Like I don't have any like major issues with anybody at work, so okay. I don't mind going there.
Okay, so you would, in terms of school and work, how would you say you feel at work? It's
better than at school. Like I would rather go to work than go to school.
Okay.
I wouldn't have any issues with it.
You're happy. You don't feel the same. You don't feel isolated
yeah.
or left out.
Because I know like at work, if I wanted to go up and like talk to people, like I could. It's just like they're just younger, so I don't really like do too much. But like I never feel like alone, like to say.
So you wouldn't really socialize with your coworkers because they're younger. You don't. So I'm hearing that you maybe don't have things in common with them. Okay. And then what do you like to do at home? You said if you're not at school, then you're at work. So what do you like to do when you're at home? What kind of things make you happier?
Reading, listening to music, just that kind of stuff.
Okay, that's great. Do you bring music to school ever?
Yeah, I always listen to music at school.
Okay, and how does that help with your feelings of isolation or feeling alone?
Yeah, and it just like makes the time go by like faster because I'm not just like it's like distracting sometimes. Like if I'm like starting to get like too upset or like thinking about something I don't want to, like I'll just like put my headphones in and listen to music and it'll like relax me.
Okay, that's a great coping strategy. So if you're feeling alone or you can't, you need a pick-me-up, would you say?
Yeah.
Then you listen to music, and then are you able to do you find that you do those on the days where you do go to school, like you need to use your headphones, and then it's easier to get through the day? You mentioned that when it's lunch you go to your car. What are you listening to music in your car, or
I'll usually or watch like YouTube videos or something while I eat, But
Okay.
yeah, just usually on my phone or something.
Okay, so those are great. Those are great strategies to have to get you through the day, because it seems that you're motivated and you want to do well in school.
Yeah.
But when you're at school, you're feeling alone and isolated and left out, and then it's sometimes hard to focus
Yeah.
because you feel embarrassed about being alone. I think that those are all great strategies. I think that since your parents made this appointment, maybe we could bring them in, and maybe we can talk to them and let them know. Do you think that would be helpful?
Yeah. That would be good.
I think it's important that you communicate to them that school is important to you, and that you do want to do well, and you do want to graduate, and you're working on these coping strategies. I think those are all great strengths that your parents might be happy to hear, and then maybe they can talk to you and communicate a little bit about how, because they are concerned as well about your grades, and I think, would you say that they want what's best for you? Would you say that they're concerned about your well-being?
Yeah.
So those are all great things. And when you say that you're feeling isolated or alone at school, you said that your parents say get over it, or I think you said get over it.
Yeah.
So I'm hearing that they're not really understanding how you're feeling, or you feel that they're not understanding how you're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe if maybe we could come in and sort of communicate together. Does that sound like something that might be useful?
I think that would be good to do with my parents.
Okay. And then maybe we can get you to, what do you think you could do that would help you to go to school 5 days a week? Do you think that would be a reasonable goal, to go to school 5 days a week and then graduate and hopefully find a new school with a new circle of friends?
I think I could do it if I just forced myself. I would just have to get used to just get used to that routine. I would have to just really push myself to do it, I guess.
All right. Well, that's something we can definitely talk about, some strategies. I think that the music is great, and maybe going to your car and having lunch and watching videos and listening to music is kind of recharging you to get through the rest of the afternoon. So I think that would definitely be a good goal to work towards, getting you to that 5 days a week, having your parents come in, opening up the lines of communication, and hopefully all of us together can work towards that goal. I think, would you be willing to come back and maybe work on some strategies?
Yeah, I can come back, yeah.
Okay, that would be great.
Would I just book an appointment downstairs at the front office?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, you're booking an appointment downstairs. And do you have any questions for me?
No, not right now. I think you covered a lot in this first session, so.
Okay, that's great. Okay, well, hopefully we will see you soon.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Rebecca.